Greetings, Cap fans, and welcome to episode 232 of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast. I'm Rick Verbanis, and I'm your host. I've got a co-host. You know that guy. His name is Bob Lucius. Oh, Bob. Ra ra Roma Roma ma ga ga oh la la. Want your bad bromance?
Oh man, that made me go gaga.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Little bad bromance action.
Yeah. A little bad.
Why am I even doing
I,
Lady Gaga
I
lyrics for you,
I have
Bob?
no idea. I have no
You
idea.
don't?
No, I'm trying to put the pieces together with what we're going to be covering tonight.
Hmm.
There's a bit of a bromance involved, a couple
Yeah.
bromances.
Well, anytime you got
The
a
bromance triangle.
Steve and Bucky thing,
Yeah.
right? And that's a
Yeah.
bad bromance, right? No,
Yeah.
but the beginning. Rah 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 rah. No?
Maybe
No?
I
All
don't
right.
know. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right.
listeners.
All right.
It's gonna come to
All right.
Bob. You'll see the light bulb go off at some
Oh,
point.
it's a dim light bulb, but yeah,
Yeah.
nonetheless, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get to it. We'll
All
get to
right.
it. We'll get to it. How you doing, Bob? What's new with you? How's the week going?
Ooh, well, it's a little bit of a crazy week. I'm hoping by the time the listeners hear this that I am still here because I told you about my stalker, right?
Oh, yes,
I'm sure I
yes.
have. Yes.
Yes.
So once again, out of the blue, at dinner time tonight, I get like 6 emails in a row from the stalker
But we
who
haven't heard from her for like in a year.
Well, it's been a long time. I think maybe a few months ago, I got like one email like at 8:30 at night, and then I never respond to any of these things, and but they're like five or six in a row tonight at dinner time.
Oh
Uh,
no.
yeah, I think you're basically saying, "Are you stalking me? I saw your truck." And I'm like, I don't even have a truck. So, so it's just very like I'm like, oh, guess who's back communicating, to my wife. So, anyway,
Oh no.
so I'm hoping, it just goes back into hibernation mode.
Mm.
And I don't hear from her again for a while. It's just crazy, crazy stuff, man.
Crazy being the keyword. Yeah.
Crazy, definitely being the key word.
But
So
what can Bob? I mean, come on. Do you blame her? I
I
mean,
really,
look
it's hard
at you,
to. Yeah, it's hard to.
right?
Right,
I
right.
mean, you're easy on
Yeah,
the eyes. You're a nice guy. You've got a big Captain America collection. I mean, like, check,
yeah.
check,
Everything,
check.
right? Early, late, middle 50s, right? And
Well, I mean, she's got a daddy complex.
yeah, with acid reflux and arthritis in his finger. Yeah, who doesn't want that? Right? It
Yeah.
should be crazy.
Oh boy.
There. Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, huh.
Yeah. How's your week going?
Well, Bob, if we were in actual time, because if people are listening to this, this comes out on Wednesday, March 19th.
Hmm.
If you're listening to this when it comes out, I am just coming back from vacation.
Oh, that's
So I
right.
had an excellent week, Bob, but it's not March 19th. It's we're
Yeah.
recording this on February 25th. Um, so I am looking forward to this vacation that I have not taken yet. That by the time people listen to this will be over.
Yes. Well, it's well deserved,
Thank
and
you, thank you
I
very
hope you have a
much.
good time, had a great time, depending on which
I'm
side of the time portal you're listening.
so here's the crazy thing, right? Because uh, let's just say worst case scenario happens, right?
Hmm.
Something happens to me, my plane ends up going somewhere it's not supposed to go.
Hmm. Oh, like that show Lost. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and then you've got this recording,
Hmm.
but you'll never ever hear it or be able to play it because I'm the only person who knows where this stuff lives.
That's right. Yeah, I know. It'd be like a little, like people say, there's a rumor that
Yeah,
there was a lost episode,
yeah,
like finding like some songs in George Harrison's chest drawer or something like
yeah,
that,
right,
right?
right.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lost episode out there that no one ever heard, right? And 50 years from now, it'll be like somebody will find it, it'll go on auctions like Christie's auction house or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you, if there's gonna be a lost episode, it should be this one. Oh my God, this story you picked out for us covering tonight,
You didn't love it?
I didn't love it.
Oh, come on. You are such a sad sack. This
I
is
am.
so much fun.
Oh,
Such
wah,
a
wah.
fun story.
Well, first of all, you know I'm not a big World War II fan,
All
and
right.
we've been on a run with these World War II stuff.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You gotta stop with it, man. Like we need a break. I need some I need some classic 80s or 90s good old
Okay.
fashioned Cap fighting some super villains.
Right. Some
Uh
serpent themed villain or something.
doesn't matter. Yeah, something.
Okay.
Oh, I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah. Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
But this is
Uh
just a clever, fun little story
yeah,
that
yeah, it
that not a
is.
lot of
I'll
people
give it
know
that.
about, right?
I'll give it that. Yeah, and we'll talk about it here in a minute. But
Yeah.
anyway, I do want to say welcome to our newest Shield Slinger supporter of the podcast. In fact, Bob, this is somebody who was listening. I don't know for how long, but they've been listening for a little while, and then we did our live um, review
Mm-hmm.
of the new Captain America movie, and one of the perks was, hey, if you sign up, patrons get to be mentioned on the show in the
Right.
chat, and he signed up.
Wow.
Yeah,
From that
eh,
show.
from that show. His name is Carl Bruno. I'm gonna
All
say
right.
Bruno because I think it's French. It's Brunealut. And Carl joined, and the reason I think it's French is because he's from Quebec, Canada.
All right. I love Quebec.
We
Uh,
are we are expanding. We got the UK,
yeah.
we got Austria, and now we got Quebec supporters of the show.
Yeah.
So that we appreciate that. Very appreciate
We
it. And
we
he
do. We do. I've been trying
he
to talk my wife into taking a trip to Quebec during the wintertime. I went there when I was in high school, spent a lot of time there when I was in college because it was only a couple hours away from where I went to university in Vermont. And it's a Quebec City. I don't know if he's from the city or from the provincial area, but just a beautiful city with a great big. The Chateau Frontenac is there. They've got a great Winterfest. Beautiful place. So,
well, now you have another legit reason for going to meet
yeah.
Carl.
All right.
So Carl actually wrote, "Great to listen to you guys. I listen to your podcast when running or at the gym. Thank you for promoting the values of Cap/Steve Rogers."
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
And so we appreciate the support. And there's a whole lot of perks that go along with support. One of them is after 3 months, we will be sending Carl a What Would Cap Do challenge coin, whoops, which has the characteristics and the of the values of Captain America, Steve Rogers, as well as a lot of other perks that you can find out more about when you go to buymeacoffee.com/ Cap Comic Fans, and you can check it out there. And we really do appreciate it because we this is a labor of love. We live off of these supports, and it all goes to our expenses. So we appreciate that very much.
Indeed. And if you play your cards right, you might be the only person in all of Canada that has one of those coins.
That's true. I
Wonder
didn't
what a
think about
claim to
that.
fame that is.
That's true. We have over 100 different countries that have listened to this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really thrilled with the idea of trying to mail these out to all these different countries.
Sure, yeah.
Uh,
Right.
but you know what? Hey, if someone wants to support the show, we at least we can do is tell them thanks.
Yeah. I like that shirt you're wearing.
Oh, thank you, Bob. This was a Christmas gift from my daughter, and
Nice.
of course, I sent her the link saying, "Here are some
Yeah.
things I want."
I was gonna say she's got great taste.
Yeah, I like it because it's the Captain America logo that Ron Garney designed
Mm-hmm.
when he joined Mark Waid on the end of Captain America Volume 1. So I like it because it's that, and it's got the little the shield there, and it really
Yeah.
pops really well on
Yeah.
the black shirt, and
Yeah.
it fits well. It fits
Yeah.
well, so I'm
It's
happy about that.
it's very slimming. Very nice.
Yeah.
You look
Now, it's
good.
funny is who does the laundry in your house, Bob?
Well, it's a joint effort. So I do my own stuff, and my wife does her stuff, and our sons, and she does the towels at the end of the week and the sheets. And so that's sort of the division of labor when it comes to the laundry.
Mm.
About yourself?
When you say the sheets at the end of the week, you guys wash your sheets weekly?
We do. I'm always
Fancy.
yeah.
Look, ooh la la. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I do the laundry in our house, and I do most of the laundry. I do the washing, and
Uh-huh.
I do put it in the dryer, and I
Yeah,
take everything out and make sure, and then t-shirts wrinkle, right? So I'm
yeah.
very, very careful. I take the t-shirts out of the washer, and I lay them flat, and then I make a whole stack of them, and I lay them in the dryer. That way they're not all crumpled up,
Oh my
And so
gosh.
then when they come out,
Yeah.
I do the same thing. I lay them all flat, and then I take the big pile of t-shirts, Bob, and I put them upstairs on our bed for my wife to fold. Do you know why?
No, but I can't wait to hear.
Uh, I don't do it right.
It's hard
So
to imagine the whole system would break down at that folding point, but okay.
apparently, so I grew up, and I would take my T-shirt and I'd fold it in half,
Uh-huh.
and then I'd fold it in half, and then I would
Yeah.
put it in a pile in the drawer, right? So,
Yeah.
my wife, when I had met her many, I don't know, 12 years ago or something, she was like, well, then you're going to have a line down the middle. And I'm like, I don't think so, but okay. And then she
Yeah.
showed me how to fold it because I guess she spent 3 months working at a J. Crew. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and so she learned how to,
Mhm.
fold the sleeves in, and then
Yeah.
do it. And she did it like
Yeah.
real quick. And I'm like, show me how to do that again. And then I tried doing it, and it never
Yeah.
did right. And she's like, you just
That's the
let me
play.
do it. I'm like,
Nicely done. Well, this is going to blow her mind, and yours as well, Rick, I'm sure, because this is just a paradigm shift. I actually roll my t-shirts. So
what?
yeah, they're folded lengthwise and then roll them into a cylinder, and they're placed in the drawer, just like my
You put them in
underoos.
cylinders?
No, they're just shaped like a cylinder, right? You roll them up and then boom, put them in the drawer, a couple layers
When you
deep.
say you fold them lengthwise, what do you mean?
So, like, fold the sleeves in just as I think you do, and then I fold it
No, my
over.
wife does. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and fold it over. So you get about, this much folded material, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
about this long, and then just start at the neck and roll it so that it's now a tube. And
Do you find that takes up less space?
I don't know. I don't know if it does or not. I probably not. But that's just how I learned to do it in military college.
Ah.
That's how it had to be when they did inspection. So they, pull out your wardrobe drawers and look in and say, oh, everything, underwear, everything's rolled, socks, everything's rolled up. So,
Well, because I need to figure out a way
man, this is
to take up less
fascinating.
space
Yeah.
because I can't close my drawer
Mm,
with the stack of cap T-shirts I have, and
yeah.
and especially since you gave me 5 more T-shirts for
Right.
Christmas,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
I have 3 stacks of cap T-shirts. I have the 2 different stacks that can fit in the
Mm-hmm.
drawer, and then I have the one stack that no longer fits me. And so I need to lose another 10 pounds before I can fit into
Uh,
that stack,
yeah.
and then they make it back into
It's
the
a
drawer.
motivator. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Folks are like, man, this is a riveting
We should
show.
probably get to today's issue after I build it up so much.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so today's comic, I'm going to pull this out.
All right.
So today's comic is the Captain America one shot called Guardian of Freedom. And I didn't know a thing about this. Now, the
Right.
only reason I have this, see
Yeah.
this little red sticker here? I
Yeah.
got this at a comic book convention. It was either a dollar box or $2 box.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, this is one of the stories Bob wants to cover.
Right.
I should probably pick this up.
Yeah.
So I did, and now I have it, and now I so thrilled.
Yes. Well, this it's funny because I don't think this is available on Marvel Unlimited.
No, it's
It,
not.
it's
And
not.
no. And
Yeah.
I couldn't find hardly any information about it. I looked it up on Marvel Fandom. I looked it up on different price guides. They really
It
never
is on
did.
Marvel Fandom.
Hold on, I'll get there.
Oh, all right.
So if you look up Captain America #1, Guardian
Mm-hmm.
of Freedom, it will not show up.
It will not.
Yes. Well, that's what I thought it was because that's what
Okay.
the title is,
That's what
right?
it says. Yeah.
Right. And then if you I was like I'm like, is this part of other story? Because it feels like we came in at a story that was going on and it has a
Uh-huh.
cliffhanger, and I'm like, does it continue? And then I looked on this last page,
Right.
which it has these 6 different comics,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I was like, let me look those up, and
Yeah.
I can't really make them out. So I did make out the fact that one says "Beware of Daredevil," so I looked that up, and then
Yeah.
I saw this one, "Call Him Thor." I looked that up, and then I got some information that
Okay.
this is in on Marvel Fandom as gosh, what is it?
It's Marvel Comics.
Yeah, Marvel's comics.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel's plural, comics
Yes.
plural, and it's Earth 20007.
Yes.
So 3 zeros, 20007. That's obviously not the 616, but
Yeah.
so then I finally figured out what was going on.
See,
And
you got your
then
money's worth.
I went and well, this is the kind of stuff I put into this show, Bob. I
Yeah.
do
The
my research.
sleuthing.
I was like, I
Yeah.
need to talk about this. So then I went onto this thing and I looked up, and there's a website called tapatalk.com.
Uh-huh.
Never heard of it before. And somebody asked a question because they were like, I just discovered this comic and I had a lot of questions. And he asked all the questions.
Uh-huh.
And this is back in 2008.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then Groovy Clam
All right. Yeah.
responds, and he wrote, if you look at the top of the cover, it says Marvel's Comics Group as opposed to Marvel Comic Group. This was a number of one off comics about different Marvel heroes published in a Skip Week event. Do you know what a Skip Week event is, Bob?
I don't.
So, when I used to own a comic store, there was occasionally what they call Skip Week. So, and it might be because there's like a fifth week in that particular month.
Okay.
And so they're like, if Captain America comes out the first week of every month, then and then you have a fifth week, then it's like, well, that's kind of what's known as a skip week, right?
All right.
So they they had a theme for the event, which was that these comics were the comics that get published by the Marvel Comics Company in the Marvel Universe itself.
Yes.
So 616 Universe is
Yes.
publishing. These are comics they're publishing in the 616.
Yes.
I finally get it. I
Isn't that
finally get it.
awesome?
Yeah. So um, some were quote unquote officially licensed by the heroes themselves, such as the Fantastic Four issue,
Mm-hmm.
and some were published without the heroes say so. For example, the Spider Man issue, because Spider Man is a wanted criminal in the Marvel
Yeah.
Universe.
Yeah.
So the stories were a wee bit off kilter from the comics that get published in our real universe, as they present what the Marvel Universe people think the lives of the heroes are like.
Yes. Yeah. Now, isn't that exciting?
Yes, in
That's
theory.
fun. That's
It is.
fun.
It is.
Yeah, and the thing is, what I love about this is, I asked the question, I don't know, 2 months ago, right? Whatever. What are the sort of the knockoff things, the one issue, the sort of giveaway that like are the most unique or most different sort of thing that there's lots there's ash can variants and there's this and that and there's one shot giveaways for Taco Bell or Harley Davidson, and this is one of those comics that I think is just sort of quirky and cool and that not a lot of people know about. And the funny thing is, it's not at all rare because you can still pick this up as you learn for like $1, $2, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not worth anything, but it's just kind of fun
yeah.
because not a lot of people know about it or any of those six comics.
So let's get to the creators.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the interesting part. Because this comic is published in the 616 universe, you have a different writer and a different artist. The writer is Rick Jones, right? So Rick Jones, aka
Mm-hmm.
he was the Incredible Hulk sidekick. He was Bucky for a little bit of time,
A little bit.
right?
Yep.
Captain Marvel's sidekick, and so on, right? And then he became a hero of his own right. And it is penciled, and it says here. Well, I'll just read. I'll read what it says on the first page.
All
A
right.
first-hand account of an adventure of the Star-Spangled Avenger, written by Rick Jones, penciled by returning special guest artist Steve Rogers.
What do you
Right?
know? He did
Because
work for
in
Marvels in the 616.
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
here he is. So this is a comic that Steve Rogers in the Marvel universe he penciled. Now,
Yeah.
and then it gets to dialogue assist Peter David. So Peter
Mm-hmm.
David was actual writer of the comic. Supplemental art by Ron Frenz and Joe Sinnott, and that's for the first 11 pages. And then the next 11 pages are by Mark Bagley and Al Vey. And then letters, Richard Starkings and Comicraft's Troy Pettery. Colors, Joe Rosas. Editor, Tom Brevoort. Editor in chief, Bob Harris. So that is the fictional creative team and the actual creative team that did
Mm-hmm.
this comic back in July of 2000.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to take the listeners through the cover, Bob?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the cover is well, it's different, right? I mean, I think probably the first thing if you are flipping through a box of comics, right, and you come across this one, you're going to notice some things right off the bat. First thing you're going to notice, right, is this logo. And it's different than what we normally would expect to see on a Captain America comic, and it's got similar sort of outlines, but it's a little modern, right? It has a certain like techno flair to it. It says Captain America, but the colors are red, purple, and sort of a darker purple. And then that shield up in the corner here is very different than what we'd expect to see in a Captain America shield. But in terms of the cover itself, what we've got a Captain America who is looking shocked, but right in the middle, in the foreground, right in front of him, it looks like some sort of, to me, it looks like a bullet hole, right? An exit wound, but it also could look like some sort of time travel portal. And then out through that portal looks to be jumping Bucky. And Cap is shocked to see this. So I don't know what's going on there, but it's a pretty cool cover. And it looks to have been done by none other than John Romita. So,
Senior, yes, John Romita
yeah.
Senior, yeah. Yeah, I will say that the cover is almost reminiscent of Detective Comics 38.
Hmm.
Do you know what that
I
is?
don't. I do
Came
not.
out in 1940, and it was the first appearance of Robin the Boy Wonder. And
Okay.
so there's Batman standing there, and then he's holding looks like one of those hoops that you would get in the circus, but it has paper. And then on the other side, bursting
Oh,
through the
yeah.
paper is Robin the Boy Wonder. So
Okay.
here's Captain America with his teenage sidekick in a circle bursting through paper of Bucky. So it's very reminiscent of that. I don't know
What
if that
issue
was
is
on
that?
purpose. Detective Comics 38.
All right. I'm going to look that up. Very interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Good eye.
All right. So we open up the page, and the opening page has this kind of winter uh, field, and you see barbed wire, and then next panel you see an opening up of a gateway of someone teleporting, and it's none other than Rick Jones, although we don't know this at the time. And he says, "Janice, Where am I this time? Did you get me home? And he's looking on his Buck Rogers wristwatch, right? It has a little camera on it, and he can see a lady's face. Not sure, Rick. Still working on zoning where you are. Well, it's kind of chilly, but otherwise this place doesn't seem so bad. And then all of a sudden there's a big explosion.
Akoo!
Me and my big ever loving, ever flapping mouth. And he's jumping from the explosion. And he lands in a ditch, and there's debris coming around him and other explosions. When am I going to learn to stop talking in cues for disaster? And then we cut to a scene, which is, it looks to be kind of a futuristic type of place. And there are two ladies there at a keyboard, and you see a monitor. How would you describe these two ladies, Bob?
Well, they're looking like very, very 90s, early 2000s, right? Sort of a Nagel look. Remember Nagel? He used to do
Oh, yeah, I
the,
remember
yeah,
Nagel.
everybody remembers Nagel from that era, right? And so one of the women is in an army uniform, so green army uniform. She's got captain's bars on and she's wearing a beret. And the other one has a sleeveless t-shirt and she has a little bit of, looks to be a red, almost like a mohawk with a long ponytail, braided ponytail behind her, with lots of gold bracelets. So I think we can assume here, just based on the conversations, that this is Rick's granddaughter, Janice Jones, from a parallel universe.
And then this other military woman
Is
says,
Colonel Carrie St. Lawrence? Yeah.
Jones, what's happening? Are you okay? Oh, just fine, St. Lawrence. I'm thinking of giving up trying to get home and building a summer place here. For crying out loud, Carrie, I'm in some kind of war zone. Now you and Janice and your big brand techies get me out of here. That's a big no can do at the moment, Gramps. The temporal flux components are fluxed up again. Then what am I supposed to do, huh? And then we see a rifle pointed in Rick's face. What you are supposed to do, American Schwein, is die. Ah, hi, Nazis, right? Hey, you want to hear a joke? And he puts his hands over his head as he's kneeling there. And all these soldiers come up to him. What's the question, the answer to which is 9W? Was? Hey, Richard Wagner, does your name begin with a V? Get it? 9W, like 9W, because it's pronounced Wagner, but it's W-A, kill him. Wait, I got better jokes. Save him, son. We'll be having the last laugh. And we hear this voice coming off panel. And then we turn the page, and what do we see? A big double page splash.
That's worth the price of admission right there, Rick.
It really is. And it's Cap in his motorcycle with Bucky hanging on behind him, and Cap's got his shield up. And all of a sudden, the soldiers, the Nazi German soldiers, are firing at him, and there's explosions in the sky. He's jumping overhead. Rick Jones has got a big smile on his face. And the title to this one is, Bob,
World War II, People Zero, Time Rip, Part 5.
now, Bob.
Yeah.
Before I knew the history of what was going on here and these one shots during this skip week, I thought that all these other comics were tied into each other and Rick Jones was just skipping around in between different stories. And
Okay.
this was part 5 of a 6-part story.
Okay. That would have been pretty cool.
I was completely confused.
Yeah.
But what this really is just we're catching the middle of a story.
Right. Yeah.
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 Which is a cool,
We
cool
missed
concept.
the first 4 issues, right?
Yeah. And so Bucky's hanging on the back. Yeah. And the Ratsies are going to be laughing out of the other side of their mouths. I could offer you fellows the option of coming quietly, but I don't think you'd take me up on it. Aye, the accursed Captain America and his equally accursed sidekick. Stop them! They're just one man and one boy. But an American man and boy, Goose Stepper, and that makes all the difference. And then we turn the page and we see Cap landing with his motorcycle in a crowd of German soldiers. Bucky jumps off to attend to Rick Jones. Bucky, see to our young friend there. I'll tend to our older friends out here. I'm on it, Cap. Okay, fella. How'd you get here? Well, my great granddaughter and I followed a Hydra agent to a top secret military lab to stop him from using Doc Doom's time machine to erase all superheroes. Except I fell into the time machine and they're having trouble bringing me back. It's kind of like Time Tunnel, but the effects aren't as cool. Cap, this guy's got shell shock.
That's the best panel right there, right, Rick? Because we got Bucky saying that, and he's got his hand on Rick's shoulder, and Rick's just kind of rolling his eyes.
Yep. Then he'll need medical attention, and we won't be the only one, right, boys? Only one of us is walking away from this one, and it won't be me because I've got a motorcycle, so I can ride away. That bewitched shield is ever. Ah! And sure enough, that shield is ricocheting all around, hitting the German soldiers. Next page. Not everywhere, son, only everywhere it needs to be. Just like me and every other red blooded American who refuses to stand by and let evil triumph. And you'll have plenty of time to dwell on that in a POW camp filled with sadder but wiser Nazis just like you. And these are three big panels of Cap jumping around, and Frenz here is doing his best homage to Jack Kirby.
He sure is. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, down to the way Cap is jumping, to the angles with the arms stretched out, and the action, and the kicking with his legs, both legs out. I mean, that's got Jack
Yeah.
Kirby all over it.
And he's, I mean, and the dialogue is definitely aping, what you might expect in a Tales of Suspense story, or, a
Oh
very
yeah,
early 1960s Cap.
yeah, totally. Especially, I felt that way when Rick was being sarcastic to his granddaughter and said, "Oh, just fine. I'm thinking of trying to get a home and build a summer place here." Like that was
Mhm.
Stan Lee. That
Oh,
totally was
yeah.
Stan Lee.
Right.
And these ads in the book are like 25 years old, so I
Yeah.
find them interesting. Like right now, when you're looking at this ad in 2000, you can get a free CD game inside Captain Crunch. I don't
Yeah.
rem- I don't remember that.
I don't either. I would have been all over that, I guess. But yeah.
Free CD-ROM game.
Wow. I don't have that ad.
No?
No. No, I don't. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's why. I would have been getting the crunch berries.
Oh, Crunch Berries is my favorite cereal of all
Yeah.
time.
Right. Yeah.
What's your favorite cereal?
Quisp.
No.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh no, you didn't.
Yeah, Quisp,
No, you
man.
didn't.
Yeah, the little guy with the propeller head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Blue
know.
box. Yeah. I love that
Okay.
stuff.
All right. Captain Crunch Berries is still my favorite, but
Yeah.
Quisp is my most sentimental. Now,
Oh, hard to get.
here's a funny Quisp story. All
Yeah.
right, folks, sorry. It's time for a tangent. Uh so apparently I talked about Quisp a lot, especially around my kids.
Uh-huh.
According to them, especially my daughter.
Yeah.
And so um whenever like we go on vacation, like yeah, like if you go on a vacation one of these places, like you rent a place for the week, and so then you go to the
Uh-huh.
grocery store because it has a kitchen, you pick up groceries
Yeah.
for the week, right?
Yeah.
Inevitably I'm always like, I'm getting Quisp for the week because
Yeah.
like I'm on vacation, I can eat sugary cereals, it's okay,
Yeah.
whatever. And inevitably that's what I do. And I guess I talked about it way too much because then it became a running joke with my daughter that apparently I mentioned the word Quisp at least once a month, which is not true. It's not true, right?
Yeah.
And so so every once in a while, like if like especially when I don't see her for a while and
Yeah.
she's and I go and I give her a hug, I come up and I whisper in her ear and I go, Quisp. So for
Oh,
Christmas, so for Christmas, I got her. Fred Hembeck does sketch cards,
right.
right? And I don't know. One day he did Quisp.
And nope. Did anybody bid on it
Oh yeah, I
except you?
I had to pay a lot of money for it.
Or
I was
did
like,
you?
I gotta get this Quisp sketch card. So I got it and I gave it to her for Christmas. And oh my
uh,
God, she laughed hysterically.
oh my gosh. That's awesome that like so many people bid on it. That yeah, there's a lot of sentimental,
Well,
sentimental.
at least one other person did.
Yeah, at least
Yeah,
one other
yeah,
Alberto. Yeah.
yeah. Right. Yeah. Apparently, Alberta loves Quisp too.
Oh, that's great.
Back to the comic. So we turn the page, and at this point, it's just Cap and it's Bucky talking with Rick Jones. Cap, you didn't leave any for me. Next time, Bucky. So who's our friend? Name's Rick Jones. Cap, believe it or not, I'm from your future. Mind if I stick with you until my folks back home get the old time machine up and running? Heh, quite an imagination there, Rick. If you're from our future, I guess you know everything about us, huh? You could say that, Roger. Huh? And Cap and Bucky look shocked. And then Rick Jones looks very pleased as he's standing there with his arms crossed. He's Private Roger Stevenson. You're Bucky Barnes. Way to disguise yourself there, Bucky, picking a code name that happens to be your first name. Next page, we get back to the base and they're in the tent.
It's not something we haven't all thought about.
Oh, Bucky?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad
It's
I'm
been
glad Rick finally said it.
yeah, it's been mentioned. Um, and then so here's the thing, and this is when I knew I wasn't in the 616
Uh-huh.
because Roger Stevenson is got dark hair,
Yeah, that's right.
and I was like, well, wait a minute, that's not Cap. But listen, if I'm Steve Rogers, the artist,
Yeah.
and I'm doing something about Captain America, yeah, I'm gonna throw people off my trail.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make some changes here, and he did.
Yeah.
Steve
Thank goodness
Rogers, the
he didn't
artist,
just
made some changes.
he didn't just throw a pair of glasses on him or something.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Can't tell them apart.
All right then. If you know the future, tell me the Allies win. Totally. Now, how about us? Everyone says the war's winding down. We make it through, right? And then Rick Jones thinks of what happens, right? Where Bucky blows up on the drone, Cap goes into the water and he's frozen. But he says, absolutely, you guys do great. Ripe old age and stuff. And then he thinks to himself, what else can I say? That Bucky dies? That Cap is frozen alive? Why tell them that? And then coming in is Sergeant Shriver. I never heard of a Sergeant Shriver. Have you?
No, I thought for sure it was going to be Sergeant Duffy storming into the tent, but no, you're right. It isn't.
Yeah, I mean, I know how important he is to you with your first pick in the draft and all.
Indeed. Yeah.
So, Stephenson, entertaining friends, are we? Do you have any explanation for where this man came from? He's a reporter, Sergeant Shriver. Yeah, Sarge, we can vouch for him. And he might also be a spy. Whoa. Now hold on, Sarge. Rick here's an American as Betty Grable. Not to mention her brother, Clark Grable. And by this point, the Sarge is, he's chomping on a cigar, but he pulls out his looks like a 45.
Very nice, Rick.
You don't get it, Stephenson. There are spies everywhere. Well, with all respect, Sarge, there ain't any in this tent. Wrong, Barnes. And he turns and he fires point blank at Rick Jones in the chest. What? And then
No,
this next three-quarters page splash, it's he rips off a mask, and who is it, Bob?
no, Rick, he shot Bucky.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Well, it does
Whatever.
change the nature of the whole story.
Yeah, well, all right. He oh, I'm sorry. He shot Bucky Barnes, Bob, point
Yeah.
blank. There, you happy?
No, that's much better. Yeah.
All right. But listen, two shockers on the same page. Two shockers
Yeah.
on one page. One
Right.
is the sergeant shooting Bucky Barnes. That's a shocker.
Yep.
And
Didn't
then
see
the
that
next
coming.
one, he rips off his mask, and who is it?
It's Baron Zemo, the elder.
Heinrich.
Yeah.
Dead wrong. Baron Zemo, disguised as the Sarge thanks to a brilliant rubber mask. I
Love it.
okay, listeners, if you're only listening and you're not watching what's on the screen with the image, let me just tell you, this is a huge suspend your belief moment
Yes. Different universe. So,
because it is the Heinrich Zemo with the mask that he has that's not form fitting
yeah.
and the little tiara thing that goes around his head.
Yep.
And then apparently he put on a rubber mask
Yes.
that moved and was able to clench down on a cigar. It is a little ridiculous.
Well, he is a master of technology. So,
Okay. All right. We'll give him that. We'll give him that. All right. So now we get to the back half of the story, and it's interrupted by a full page letter, and it says, "Dear faithful reader of Captain America." Now, apparently, everybody read this but Bob, because if Bob read this,
mm,
he would understand my hello to him. We regret to inform you that the regular artist Steve Rogers has suddenly taken ill and is unable to complete the powerful pencils of this latest Rick Jones epic. So it is Steve in quotes.
okay.
In fact, he's gotten so sick that we further regret to inform you that he'll be taking a leave of absence for the remainder of Rick Jones' tenure on the book. This is not to say that he wasn't loving every minute of riotous Rick's inside, in the know, absolutely true tales of everybody's Star Spangled Avenger. No, sirree, Bob. No, sirree, Bob. He thought that Rick's pulse pounding epic. Wow, we got a Rick and a Bob here.
Nice, isn't it? It's like it was
Yeah,
written for us.
really is. He thought that Rick's pulse pounding epics were the single greatest representation of old Winghead in the entire history of Western literature. But we got to admit, Steve, as all of you on the internet know, is pretty outspoken about when he thinks Cap's adventures should be. And well, Ricko is the expert after all, as we know. And when it comes to writers versus artists, we here at Mighty Marvel always back up the writers every time. After all, wouldn't want the writers to go off and form their own company or something. We all know where that leads. So what's he talking about there, Bob?
I'm assuming he's talking about some sort of creator-owned comic company that might head off and take some of the key talent away.
Yeah, so that was Image Comics, right? That came out in 1992, if I'm not mistaken. Um, where, yeah, the artists left Marvel pretty much to form Image. In any event, hopefully, will be back as soon as possible. In the meantime, we present the awesome artistry of Mark Bagley and Al Vey. Now let's get back and see what happens next. And remember, make mine Marvel, your pals in editorial. So now we switch to different artists, and Zemo is firing at Rick Jones, but Cap jumps over him, but He's shot in the back, Bob,
Blam, blam, blam.
but it just rips what is underneath, and you see Cap's shield appearing through the uniform. So my information was correct. You are Captain America. If you wish to finish this, Captain, I shall be awaiting you at Rathskeller Castle. And Roger Stevenson goes over to hold Bucky Barnes. Guess Future Boy didn't know everything at that, huh? You'll make it, old chum. I'm a Garner, Raj. I know that. Get the Ratsy, Rick, and get him in my name. Bucky. Roger Wilkel over and out.
That is one moving death scene.
Next page, we see Cap rip off in anger his army fatigues to see the Captain America uniform underneath. Where do you think you're going after Zemo? Not without me. I'm not going to risk losing another young lad. First, I'm not a young lad. Second, I've been trained by the best. Oh, really? Who? You? And then a moment there, Steve realizes, okay. And he shakes his hand. I'm counting on you. Make Bucky proud. Let's kick some ratsy butt. So we cut to the castle, and we see Heinrich Zemo talking to a man in the shadows. He will not come. He would have to be mad to walk into such an obvious trap. He is mad, mad with fury over the death of his ally. Trust me, Meinherr. He will. There! I see him! He is. No! It cannot be! How many times must we kill this American swine? And who does he see, Bob?
Well, it appears to be Cap on his motorcycle, and riding behind him, it looks to be Bucky.
Well, no matter. This time we will send them both of them to their grave. Permanently. And then he hits a button on the device. Cap! I see it, Rick. And what does he see, Bob?
It looks to be some sort of big Android looking device that just pops up out of the snow covered ground, and it's looming over Cap on the motorcycle. And he's got it looks like a combination of RoboCop. I don't know. Have you seen that remake of Lost in Space? Kind of looks like that alien on there. It's a very mean looking robotic Android device.
Yeah, I kind of figured you saw it. That was just your garden variety startled exclamation. And by the way, for the time being, it's Bucky, right? Because he wanted this butt kicking in his name. Then this one's for you, Bucky. And he knocks the head off of the robot. And he crashes to the ground. That was easy. But all of a sudden, another 4, 5, or 6 androids pop up from the ground circling them. Uh-oh, you spoke too soon, son. Yeah, I got this bad habit of doing that. If we go down, Bucky, we go down fighting. Next page, Cap wakes up, and he and Bucky are tied by ropes onto this the drone. Oh my goodness, Bob! It's the same drone that they were tied to in the 616.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, everything's coming back around.
You know, Cap. Next time I'm going to go down not fighting. The result's the same, and there's fewer lumps. And then we see Baron Zemo behind the control panel. This missile will fly straight and true, and to 10 Downing Street in London, and obliterate the hated Winston Churchill. Winnie the Great will be Winnie the Pooh after the missile hits. Do give him my regards. And my regards as well. Long have I waited for this moment, Herr Captain. And coming out of the shadows, who is it, Bob?
Oh my gosh, it's the Red Skull!
I would not have missed it for the world, Baron. At the Red Skull's command. We turn the page. Send our American friends out to launch. 30 seconds, Herr Skull. Please be sure to enjoy your flight. And remember to extinguish all smoking materials. You'll be the one extinguished, Skull. And he loosens his left hand to grab the wrist of the Red Skull. Was? If we're going, so are you. Zima, stop the launch. I can't. It's locked in to prevent sabotage. In that case, there is only one choice. And he pulls out this dagger from inside his long leather trench coat. I must cut off my own hand to escape his grip. Ah! And he does. He cuts off his own hand, Bob.
He does. He slices it right off.
And then the drone goes off and shoots out. But Baron Zemo kind of points out something to the Skull. Herr Skull, why didn't you just use a knife to stab Captain America himself? And then the Red Skull's eye grows big. No!
Love it.
The ropes are starting to give, Cap. I know, Bucky. Just a little more. What luck? Our motorcycle. Go, Cap, go. And they get down on the motorcycle, and Rick says, wait, I just got a weird feeling of deja vu about, oh no, Janice, get me out of here. And he talks to his radio on his wrist. But Gramps, we're not sure if we have the time machine working right yet. And they make the jump, but like in the comics, Cap can't reach it, but Bucky lands on the drone to try to stop it. But Cap lands with the motorcycle. Bucky, I can't reach you. Get clear. I can't. My stupid costume's snagged. Don't worry about the bomb, Cap. It'll blow up prematurely. Believe me, I know. Stay warm. Janice, I don't care if this thing's fixed or not. Do it now. And Cap is falling. No. And we get to the last page, and sure enough, they zap him into somewhere else. Gramps, are you all right? We got readings of an explosion. We think it's the time machine activation set off a bomb near you. Near me? Try right under me? And what is he standing on, Bob?
He's standing on what looks to be a big carpet, but that one that's emblazoned with the seal of the President of the United States.
He's in the Oval Office. Why am I not surprised to see you? Roger? That's President Stevenson to you, Rick. Welcome to the year 2030. Good thing. It may very well be that only you and I can save the United States from the Red Skull's master plan, his final solution. Next, future imperfect. And we see a older Roger Stevenson wearing a suit and tie, and he is walking to Bucky in the Oval Office.
I can't wait to the next. I can't wait to the next issue.
Well, you're gonna have to wait a really long time.
Yeah.
Well, that was a fun story.
It is, right? It's a clever, nifty. I like the dialogue because they're in a way they're making fun of comic dialogue a little bit, making fun of the suspension of disbelief that you mentioned, just having a good time, right? As you pointed out, that skip week, and yeah, it's quirky.
It is quirky. Yeah. Now, I like the concept. And it was fun. I mean, like if you didn't know what was going on and didn't understand, and you just picked us up as a Captain America fan, like, oh, here's a Captain America one shot. Oh, it's a Bucky. Oh, I'm gonna flip through it. Oh, I see some World War II. I like World War II. Let me go ahead and read this. You would have been totally lost.
Absolutely.
If you didn't know what was absolutely going on.
Yeah.
And then you would have been really struggling, and you would go up to the guy behind the counter the teenage kid and be like, "Hey, this is part 5. I want to get these other parts," and he'd been like, "I don't know what you mean, man."
That's it. Yeah. I think we've done a real public service. I feel like we should get some community service credit for the public service that we have done, because I still think there's a lot of fans out there like like you who pick this up in a dollar box or $2 box and read it and aren't quite sure where it fits in, right? Because they don't know the backstory
Mm-hmm.
of this book. So
I
we've
will
just
be
done an
committed for sure.
yeah, we've just we've done an amazing community service here
Mm. Hopefully, it counts towards my hours. Um,
tonight.
all right, Bob. I go first.
All right.
I go first. You went first last time. So
Okay.
my favorite panel. I'm glad I'm going first because I got a feeling you were going to take it based on the reaction what you said in the comic. My
Uh
favorite panel is when Bucky says, "Cap, this guy's got shell shock."
huh. That's a
It
great
is my
panel.
favorite panel.
It is awesome, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to describe to the listeners who are listening on audio only, but it's a really funny panel.
The
So
way it's presented. Yeah, there's two
yeah,
panels side by side, and it's the same exact art for Rick. I'm sorry, for Buck Barnes, and so that doesn't change. And the first one panel is Rick explaining all this, and then the second panel he's just rolling his eyes like, okay, sure,
right,
yeah,
right.
that's my favorite panel.
All
How
right,
about you,
that's
Bob?
good.
What's your favorite panel?
Well, I think I got to go with that double page splash, Rick, on pages 4 and 5. If Cap on the motorcycle and everything going on, and then Rick Jones with that grin on his face, underneath the motorcycle as it's flying over into the Nazis. It's just a fun double page splash. I mean, you pick that up, you look at that. How can you not adore this arc?
Yeah. No. And listen, if you're gonna pick a favorite panel and you have a double page splash, you got more bang for your buck with your favorite panel.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right, Bob. What's going on your T-shirt?
Well, again, I'm going to do the Zemo taking this rubber mask off his head, right? Who
That's
doesn't
right.
a good Zemo T-shirt?
Oh,
I'm
wait a
gonna,
minute. Oh, wait. You said a good Zemo T-shirt.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna go back. I think about it. I'm gonna go back to 2000. I'm gonna wear my Zemo T-shirt while I drink a nice ice cold Zima.
Oh,
Yeah,
Zima's still around in 2000? I know they were in the 90s.
yeah. Oh, I think this is 2000 itself, so right at the cusp. So I bet it was
Okay.
still around.
Did you like Zima?
No. It was
No,
refreshing,
it
but
was
it wasn't
too
something.
refreshing. Let me tell
Yeah.
you something. Uh, I remember. So I was, gosh, this is 1993, and Zima was relatively new at the time, and I was like, yeah, I'll try that. And I
Uh-huh.
I went and I had just moved to Atlanta, and I was living in an apartment that had a pool, and it's the middle of the summer, and it's Atlanta, and it's hot. And I was working at a restaurant at the time, so I was working evenings, right? So in the middle of the day, you know, I I could go to the pool, and I had the pool in myself because people were working,
Right.
and and I'm it's a weekday and middle of the day, and it's hot summer, so I was great. I loved going to the pool, and I was like, oh, I'll get this 6 pack of Zima. I'll try one, whatever, and of course you got to put a lime in it.
All right.
You got
Yeah.
to put a lime, right?
Yeah.
Now here's the thing about Zima, uh, actually more alcohol volume in it than a normal beer,
Right. Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
it's a malt liquor type of thing, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that, and to your point, it was really refreshing. And I'm in the sun
Yeah.
in the pool, and
Yeah.
I'm like on my fourth Zima with a lime,
Yeah. It's
and
like a
all of a sudden
Sprite.
like, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, it was, it totally was, and I'm like, whoa, this got a kick.
Yeah. And didn't it have it had a nice bottle, didn't it?
It did. It was a
Like a
clear bottle, but
like
it
a
had like some
crystalline.
ridges to
Yeah,
it.
it was like a crystalline, it looked like it was
Yeah,
a
yeah,
high
yeah.
end.
Oh, my buddies used to make fun out of me for drink. Oh, Rick's got his Zima.
Well, there you have it. See, perfect day. A Zemo t-shirt and a Zima.
Oh boy. All right.
All right, you got anything you want to put on a T-shirt, Rick?
I do, Bob. I'm going to go back to those three panels where I talked about, the Kirby-esque, right? This is page, I want to say page 7. The
Mm-hmm.
second panel, which is Cap's jumping over a bunch of German soldiers, and it says, "Just like me and every other red-blooded American who refuses to stand by and let evil triumph."
Nice.
I think that would be a good right there on the T-shirt.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I like that. Hmm. All right. And how about a time capsule?
That's going to be the last page.
Oh, last
Last
page.
page. I
Yeah.
mean, that is Roger Stevenson as president of the United States. That's never happened before, Bob. And
It just
it
this one time.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping 5 years from now this comes true
Yeah. Wow. All right.
because that'll be
Uh,
2030.
yeah. Very cool. I'm going to go to the first page, Rick, and that third panel with that wristwatch
Mm,
that Bucky Barnes is wearing. It's very Dick Tracy esque, right?
very
But
much
I,
so.
I
Yeah.
think man, if you look back on it, that technology seems very far fetched in 2000, and we're pretty much up to that point now. You know,
Yeah.
I had a wristwatch once that took photos.
Oh,
Had a
really.
digital camera built into it. It seemed very sophisticated at the time. The photos were there. They were like the photos that you might get on your flip phone.
Mm-hmm.
That level of quality, but at the time, it seemed really high end, and it was around this time actually that I had that. So I'm going to go with that wristwatch
Yeah.
because back then that seemed like the future, and
Really did.
but
Yeah.
we're living in the future.
Dick Tracy, George Jetson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all. Yeah, 100%.
All
How's your
right.
flying car working out for you, Bob? You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time having the you know the gas pump to reach.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of flying cars, that ties back to Mark Bagley did the artwork for that Daredevil issue we covered that tied into Streets of Poison that had about the flying car in there.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I
As
do
Mark
remember
Bagley
that.
was the artist there. Look at that. It all comes full circle, Bob.
It does. It does. This show is so finely tuned, Rick. You have done an amazing job tying it all together.
Oh, well, it's that the notes and pins up on the board, Bob.
Yeah, the strings and yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right, Bob. Well, as always, I've had a lot of fun wrapping cap with you.
I have to. I'm looking forward to next week to doing it all over again.
All right. He's Bob Lucius. I'm Rick Verbanis. And if you don't mind, please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you're on YouTube right now, if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, why not? And please make sure if you're on Spotify, you can give us a rating there. Apple, give us a 5-star review. And in Facebook, we love your comments. So, as always, we appreciate you listening to another episode of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast.